Hello and welcome to photokinaTV. If there's one big change that has occurred in these last years for photographers is a shift to video. You all have DSLR cameras and you have noticed that they all come with video functions now. Photographers are moving into the videography environment, and whilst they know about the topic of color management for their photos, they suddenly seem to forget about it for video. And this is a point we want to make today, and I've invited guests to the show. I have Mr. Kunz here for X-Rite, you're specialists for color management, and Eduardo Angel, you're an industry expert and a filmmaker.
Correct.
So both these people know what they're talking about. First question, Thomas, I want to ask to you. Color management is calibrating the monitor, right?
Not just, but this is actually, I would say, the most important first step, because that's the instantiation, what is in your digital file. That's where the photographer or the videographer spends a lot of time adjusting his images or his video footage, do the color grading, and it is so important that the monitor is in a calibrated state, because all the work you do there, you must have the absolute assurance that the colors are shown right. And that's actually, and you mentioned this in the beginning, what we provide for photographers is calibration tools, but what we want to show today, and that's the good news for every videographer now using these, for example, these DSLR cameras with HD video functionality, our tools work also for video production. So we have the same value and it's easy to use and really is an advantage for videography. And that's what we want to show today here.
People doing photography and who have worked on color management before know it doesn't make any sense at all to work on color on a monitor that doesn't show you what the color of the file actually is.
Exactly.
So let's start with monitor calibration. You brought a little tool here. We can show it in the camera. It's
so we have a
one.
professional solution here, our i1 Display Pro, well known in the photo space. And we can also use this solution actually to calibrate the monitor specifically for video production workflows. So we have presets included here that actually are being used in video production, which is, for example, Rec 709 preset, NTSC or PAL SECAM.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's say the monitor is calibrated. We know these tools work excellent. They have a high performance. They show you really the color.
Well, ask Eduardo. He's using it. Are they working?
Every day.
They are.
They are working really well. And as Thomas said, it's just the same process than calibrating your monitor for photography, but using one of the display profiles that you have already part of the software. So it is extremely easy.
Okay. So our monitor is calibrated. Now comes the
very first important step. Done.
Right. Where else is color management happening and why?
Well, custom white balance, I think, is one of the biggest issues, because you're not using one camera, only one camera anymore. You're using 2 or 3 or even more cameras. So it becomes a post-production nightmare when you're trying to match the different views from different angles with different lighting conditions. So creating a custom white balance on camera is extremely easy using any of the tools available, either the Color Checker Passport or any of the X-Rite tools.
I know the problem from our own work at photokinaTV. We always use at least 2 cameras. In the beginning we used to work with 2 different cameras, and almost impossible to match. Now we use 2 exact same brands, exact same cameras, and they still differ in the white.
The sensors are different. You might be using different lenses, a shorter lens, a longer lens, and the camera position is different. You have an A camera pointing to something, and then a B camera pointing somewhere else. This is especially critical if you're using a mixed lighting situation. So by locking the custom white balance specific for each camera makes the post-production work much easier and at the end faster, which is time is money. So
we should say so that we have easy to use tools here. We have color checker targets where you actually can do exactly what Eduardo just described. So actually in every videographer's bag there should be these targets here, or also this one here, very convenient to carry into every bag and to be used while capturing film.
Okay, so we have calibrated the monitor. We have set a white balance, which
In
is
the
the same for
camera.
every camera.
Right.
Let's go over into post-production.
Well, post-production is really important to understand for photographers making the transition into film or for filmmakers using HDSLR
Yeah.
systems.
There's
you don't
actually,
have
sorry if I may say that there's a kind of a new generation of video and filmmakers using professional tools, but in a way that they want to be quick, they want to be really professional, but also instant results. So using Final Cut Pro, using Adobe Premiere, Adobe calls them the digital mavericks, and I think those are the ones who really would benefit from those solutions here.
something that most people don't understand until sometimes it's too late is that you do not have the latitude in video that you have with still photography. You're not shooting raw with these
Right.
cameras.
I can do almost
So-
anything to my file in photography
Exactly.
afterwards because I have the raw data.
Well, you cannot do that to video. You are basically shooting a continuous JPEGs when you're shooting video. So you need to start with something good so you can make it better. If you start with something that it's inaccurate or way off, you probably will have a lot of problems trying to make that decent,
Yeah, so invest a little bit in the beginning and then benefit big time
big
afterwards.
time.
Okay. Now, how to work with color management in post-processing? You have done a little film.
We actually have created 3 tutorials on the things that we're discussing today, on color or on monitor calibration, on creating a custom white balance on camera for video, and grading, which is the term for color, for changing the colors in video.
And how easy that is with this color checker here. That's what we show in this video, in the last video you mentioned. That,
Okay.
right?
With something like this, you actually can set your highlights, your midtones, your shadows, set your white balance, and then actually you can see which hues you're affecting when you're changing colors. Let's say you're adding contrast or desaturating something. So you can actually see if you're affecting the blues or the reds. That cannot be done anywhere else.
Let's get very practical. You brought the little film clip along. It's
Right.
only 2 minutes long. Let's have a look at it.
Capturing accurate and consistent colors with a camera has always been a difficult task to achieve. But once again, X-Rite comes to the rescue. With products like X-Rite's Color Checker Classic, it's now very easy to quickly and easily control the colors we capture. Can you imagine the post-production nightmare that it would be to put together 3 cameras shooting video on auto white balance and using different settings? Since most current digital systems can capture stills and video at the same time, it just makes sense that X-Rite tools support both workflows. We are using Adobe Premiere Pro CS6 for this tutorial. I have the clips I would like to work on my timeline. I'm gonna look for the 3-way color corrector. I type way and it shows up. I can drag and drop the effect, or I can simply double click on it and it will be applied. If we look closer, the green line on the clip means that the effect has been applied. The next step is I go to the effects control. As you can see, we can independently adjust shadows, midtones, and highlights. With the eyedropper selected for shadows, we click on the black patch, for the midtones on the gray patch, and for the highlights on the white patch. The last step, I'm gonna look for the fast color corrector, double click on that, go back to the effects control, I go to my white balance, and there you have it. Now we can copy these settings and paste all the changes to other clips. And here you can see the difference between the original footage and the final adjustment, just with a very quick 3-way color corrector and the fast color corrector. So there you have it. Stop wasting time and money. X-Rite provides outstanding tools to quickly and easily control the colors we capture.
Okay, you saw just
think
how quick that was done.
Yeah,
except
and
for
I think
the
he had fun producing
a
that
lot of
video,
fun.
right?
Yeah,
That's obvious. But isn't it amazing how, with simple tools, easy to use, what a big difference this makes then.
It makes a big
and he's
difference.
smiling.
the actual grading part took about 20 seconds.
Yeah.
It's incredible. I mean, if you think about it, people, in order to create a photo, you press the button, you do some light and so on. Of course, there's work involved. But if you think about filmmaking, you have to script it, you have to light it, you have to shoot it, you have to cast people, you have to do lots of editing and in the desk later on. All that, why would anybody not do this?
It doesn't make sense because all the steps are so easy and you're saving so much time and money that not making those steps it doesn't make sense not to do it.
Thomas, I guess you agree?
Absolutely, I totally agree. What else to say? If you want to check it out for yourself, go to xrightphoto.com. We have more information there. All the videos that Eduardo mentioned. Check it out for yourself and benefit from it.
Pretty simple.
You heard it. They said it. I can just agree. Do color management when you do filmmaking. It's well worth the effort. It's not an expensive approach, but one that will lead to professional results.
Yep.
Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank
See you
you.
next time on photokinaTV.